All right, now once you get to this point, I have a quite a different variety of plants and trees. I have some bamboo over here. So now we're going to work on how we go about exporting this from this scene and bringing it into our main scene. So the first thing we want to do is, of course, make sure that we're well organized. So let me just stop this render. And I just want to show you what I have. So I have like this, the cattails, the cattail flowers. I'll go ahead and group those together and just name this cattails. And then I have the field grass, my maple trees, my bamboo. Now the bamboo I just kind of did as all one object. I didn't bother splitting it up. It is all separate. So there are a lot of different leaves there. So there's a lot of geometry there. But for the most part, I didn't really bother separating it out. And as you can see, it does take a second if you click on it, just because it's so dense. There's a lot of geometry there. As you can see, I have my corn for my little garden right there. Then I have this field grass. I did some brown grass, just kind of littered throughout. I have a few bushes, and then of course my cattails. So what I want to do here is select everything, or everything that I made. So my field grass down to my cattails. And I'm going to group all of these together. So Control G, just to group all those together. And again, this is a lot of geometry, so it may be a bit clunky as you're selecting these. And I'm just going to name this foliage. And from here, what I want to do is make sure my list history is deleted. And I know we do this as we kind of went through the process. But I just want to go ahead and do this one more time, make sure my history is deleted. And then what I want to do with this group selected, I want to go to Edit. And I want to go down, or sorry, File is where I want to go. File and Export Selection. Now, if you just do Export All, you're going to get a lot of things exported that you don't necessarily want. You're going to get a lot of materials, lights, objects. You're going to get your entire scene. We don't want any of that. All we want is our plants, our foliage. So that's why we put them in a group. We just select that group, and then we're going to go to Export Selection. And I'm just going to export this as a Maya binary and name this foliage for house. Export selection. So you can see that the reason that I wanted to bring this into a separate scene is that this does get very complicated. It gets very clunky, especially if you have a lot of different things, a lot of different various plants in your scene like I do. I try to keep things simple, but for the sake of just doing this this tutorial or this lesson, I want to show you the wide variety of things you can get and how kind of deep you can dive with this process. So with that all exported, then I can just go ahead and save the entire scene. So it's going to save it as the house demo foliage. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I'm going to open up my other scene, my main scene, so house demo. give that a second to open on up. All right, so that opened up pretty nicely. And then I'm just going to go to File, Import. And I'll select my foliage for house file. And again, that may take a minute or two. We can see the little progress down here just because it's a lot of geometry. But ideally what we're going to do when we don't want to see this, since it's all in a group, is we can just hide it. Just like the grass, when we don't want to deal with something particular, we can just hide it so it doesn't sort of take up all of our resources in our scene, and it makes things run a little bit smoother. So we'll just let that process for a few seconds. And there it is. So now it all just kind of slowly popping into the scene. And then, as I said before, if I do want to get rid of this, our object is somewhere here. Foliage for house, foliage right there. So I could just hide that if I don't want to see it. But I want to do a little test render to see what this is going to look like. And then I would say we're very close to being done with this. I do want to add some lily pads around the little island there, and I'm probably going to do that with mesh. And then I also want to add some like little flecks of debris and stuff, sort of like floating on the water, just like little leaves or little things just kind of floating around on the water. So let's take a look at what this will look like rendered, and we will then move on to the next lesson.